Yar har, matey, it's been a while since we've been on the high sea, and I'm back finally to captain the ship and to tell ya, it's time to plunder! Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we're taking a look once again at Plunder, the archetype of trolls whose goal is to plunder the high seas and steal the opponent's victories. And here we have the list that I have been playing recently, and it's pretty simple, or pretty similar as well to the previous list that I was playing, with a few additions. So yeah, we're just going to go quickly through the card by card and the explanation. If you don't know, Plunder is an archetype that centers around utilizing monsters like Blackbeard, Redbeard, and Whitebeard in order to captain ships, aka tag out into the monsters from the extra deck, utilizing monsters your opponent controls and their attributes specifically. Liss is a monster negate, Brawn is a spell trap removal, Moark is a monster removal, and Yord is additional extension, all of which correlates to a different attribute. Yord is earth, Brienne is fire, Moark is dark, and Liss is light. So let's quickly go into the card by card and the rest of the explanation. Starting off with the Plunders, we're playing 3 apiece of Whitebeard, Redbeard, Black Eyes, and Golden Hair, as well as 2 Bluebeard. Now, Bluebeard is the one that doesn't pilot ships while being a beard, but that's fine. Whitebeard and Redbeard have the same effect on field, which says during the opponent's turn, you can special summon a Plunder from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and then equip it with this card. Fantastic. Redbeard, if sent from hand or grave from hand or monster zone to grave, equips itself to a Plunder Patrol monster, and Whitebeard special summons from deck if sent from hand or monster zone and locks you into Plunders. Next up we have Bluebeard, which can special summon itself if you control a Plunder, and if sent to grave, discards to draw. Golden Hair can send a Plunder Patrol monster from hand or face-up field to the graveyard in order to special summon itself from hand, or it can discard a card in order to special summon itself and lock you into Plunders. Notably, this card is a 1-card combo. What it allows you to do is you normal summon it, link off into Almirage, discard a card, special summon itself back, and then go into Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is full combo. I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding. Next up we have Black Eyes. Black Eyes also adds a Plunder Patrol back from grave while special summoning itself, and on top of that, if it's sent from monster zone or hand, it can target a Plunder Patrol in the spell and trap card zone to special summon it in defense. It's not the greatest secondary effect, but the first effect is fantastic. It also locks you into Plunders. And that's it for the monsters. We're also running 3 apiece of Shipyard, which discards a card in order to search a Plunder card, and on top of that, if it's in the grave, it can target a Plunder in the spell and trap card zone in order to bounce it and set this card, which is great as just getting additional materials. On top of that, it has a fantastic attack point boost, which does come in handy quite a bit. We're also playing 1 apiece of Booty, just as an additional way to reborn monsters. This comes up occasionally, but it never comes up in this duel, but it is a fairly decent card and worth running at least one of as an additional search target. As for the rest of the monsters, we're running 3 apiece of Maxi, 3 apiece of Ash, 3 apiece of Radion. This is most notable because it's a dark that you can give to your opponent to go into Moark. Moark is the best one, so there you go. And with less people playing darks in particular, being able to go, here's a dark, play this dark, here it is, now I'm going to use it to tag out into Moark is very nice. We're also running a whole bunch of other going second options. Our going first options are not great, so oftentimes you can also just go second, and it's pretty good. So there's that. I went first with all of these duels. Not all of them, but I actively chose to go first, just kind of out of habit. But realistically, this is kind of built to go second. So there's that. We're playing Harpy's Feather Duster. We're playing 2 triple tack as well as 2 triple tactics thrust as well as 2 evenly matched, and then the 3 infip. It may seem weird to play 2 apiece of all of these, but the thing is, I don't think as many people are going to be playing into the thrust against this deck, which is why I'm playing 2 evenly matched and then the 2 triple tack as well. So there's that. But yeah, I also specifically didn't want to necessarily draw thrust and then not have a way to like evenly matched as like the first action, so that's another reason. We're also playing the 2 called by, which I think I already mentioned, but that's it for the non-engine, which is a lot, to be fair. As for the rest of the deck, we are playing 3 apiece of Liss, which on summon, which is a light, which is mostly what you're going to be utilizing, but it can, during the main phase, special summon a Plunder from hand or spell and trap card zone, and then it's also a monster negate by pitching a Plunder. All of the monsters have an effect where if they pitch, well, I should say, Liss, Brawn, and Moerk, as removal, have to discard a Plunder card. However, if they are equipped with a thing, can also then search an additional card. Liss can search any card if equipped with a Plunder Patrol. So there's that. Great card in general. We're playing 2 Brawn. Brawn boosts your other fiends, as well as discards a Plunder to banish a spell and trap, and then add a Plunder Patrol monster. So the spell and trap card removal adds a monster, and the monster removal, which discards a card in order to banish an effect monster your opponent controls, adds a spell trap. So monster removal adds the spell. Spell trap removal adds the monster. Make sense? Makes sense. Liss adds anything, as long as they are equipped. Actually, sorry. Liss adds if equipped. These two will add no matter what. However, they become quick effect while equipped. Got it? Brandon Moerk, Fire and Dark, Spell Trap, and Monster Removal need to be equipped with a monster in order to get a quick effect. Got it? Got it. Yord is one of the best extenders slash combo pieces for the deck. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can add a Plunder Patrol card. Then if this card is equipped, you can special summon a Plunder from deck. Great. So it's just additional recursion on the field. Fantastic. Honestly, a great card. However, it also has the effect where you can target a Plunder Patrol card in grave, add it to hand, and place this in the Pendulum zone. And then the Pendulum effect declares an attribute, return this to the extra deck, and then special summon a Plunder Patrol monster of said attribute to both players' fields in defense. Now, generally, what you're going to give to your opponent is a light, because you give your opponent a light, you give yourself a light, and more importantly, you add back a card to your hand. Not more importantly, but additionally, you add a card back to your hand. And then with that, you can either discard for something like Golden Hair, or potentially add a card back, or special summon a guy off of a Bluebeard, or whatever it may be. There's a myriad of ways to get a card onto the field at this point. And from there, you can go into Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard can tag out into Liss. And then Liss is a monster negate, while also bringing back a guy, or special summoning a guy from hand. So that's the general combo. We're also playing a few other cards in here that occasionally come up in Emerald and Zeus, but you're oftentimes locked into plunders that they very rarely come up. So yeah, Emerald and Zeus could honestly be anything. Honestly, this should probably be Typhon, let's be honest. But yeah, let's just show you the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going first, and my opponent chose to go second. Now, this hand looks terrible, but stay with me. This is full combo. Trust. This is full combo. Okay, let's see what my opponent does. They're going to start with the Dora Dora. I'm going to imprint that. I don't want them getting into anything in particular. I want to basically force them to have an additional thing here. So, there's that. They're going to then activate the Tundra, and I'm going to activate my Maxi. Coolio. It resolves. Great. They're going to immediately go to battle. Then they're going to Synchro here. I think this is on purpose. I think they're specifically trying to Synchro here instead of trying to get the battle phase effect. So yeah, they're going to go for Biden Dragon. They're going to special summon back the Tundra, because I think the idea here for them is I'm going to special summon back the Tundra. Tundra is then going to attack, bring back the or bring out the Pydra, and then that way I have the ability to go into Transcendent Dragon or Trident Dragon more easily. It's not like the worst play. Obviously, I would have gone Tundra first, but they also don't necessarily know what my guy does, and I could potentially tag out here into a guy. Also, if this dies, if it's sent to grave, just at any point from Monster Zone or hand, it can special summon Redbeard here, so that's still something to keep in mind. So they don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I don't hate this play. It may seem kind of strange, but they're also trying to play around Maxi, which I would imagine. I'm just going to go into Brand to take less damage. Realistically, I shouldn't have done this. I don't know why I did this, but I did. They just passed, though. The second Imperm did definitely help. And, yeah, I draw into Shipyard. Pretty good. Though, to be fair, again, should not have done that. I should have just let them attack in, go Whitebeard, summon Redbeard. Redbeard could then tag out into... I guess it's only fire, so it's not exactly great. Either way, it's not great, but, I could have done something. I could have also gone golden hair there, which would have been full combo. But it's fine because we drew a starter. So we go with the black eyes here. We grab black eyes normal summon back the guy that we grabbed, and now we can go into Yord, and I can show you the general combo. Here we're going to special summon the red beard and grab back the white beard in order to tag out into the white. Or light, sorry. They have Nibiru, so there's that. But we just Maxi and draw into the third Maxi. Maxi, fair and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh card. Smile. So I fire off the Maxi. It gets ashed this time. Tragic. But let's just see if my opponent can do anything here. I ash the Genroku, and they just concede. Yeah, love beating Tenpai with normal summon pass. Alright, once again, going first. This time with evenly matched. You hate to see it. But again, this is kind of just like normal summon, and then we activate the Bluebeard. Okay, we're actually doing pretty good. So we go for the Blackbeard here. We're going to special summon it and then draw a card. We're going to draw into Pot of Desires. We're going to special summon. Here we go for the Pot of Desires, which gets ashed. Of course it does. But at this point, we have full combo. So again, we'll just pass the turn. Not really any more that we can do. Obviously, I could have made like Bran here because they gave me an ash. But that kind of is terrible. So there's that. My opponent goes for the back row removal effect of the Lightning Storm. I'm a bit confused with that one. But out comes the Imperm. They're going to target the Redbeard. They're going to go Maxi. And I'm going to go, hold on. Let's use that same monster and special summon another guy. So I special summon the Yord because now Maxi is out and the Bran. But Bran is just here to look cool. And that's it. But if you didn't know, I learned this today. If you don't know, Redbeard, even though it does put its equip itself, it doesn't have to equip itself. So for example, here they target the Redbeard to negate it. I activate the effect to tag out. They activate Maxi. I activate the Blackbeard again to tag out, targeting the target that's already going to tag itself out. But because of the way that this reads, it still special summons the guy. It just doesn't equip itself. So very interesting. But I do draw a card here. They're going to imperm the Yord, which is fine. They're going to go for the Pydra here, and I'm just going to ash. And that's the game! So, yeah, that Maxi was exceptional. We draw into another Ash Blossom, which is funny, but not really needed. And at this point, we get to add back the Whitebeard, put itself into the back row, and then activate the effect of the Yord, calling Light, giving ourselves a Light, and then go for the Liss here. Then we can just normal summon a guy from this position, go into another Blackbeard, and special summon another Redbeard, and just kind of put on the pressure. At this point, we have the Golden Hair, so I'm not really too concerned. And yeah, we have the Monster Negate as well. We have Bran, which technically doesn't do anything, but at the very least we can tag out with Redbeard into another Bran and deal with another back row. But yeah, at this point we just negate, destroy, grab up Shipyard, and yeah, that's pretty much game. Here I'm going to tag out as well as tag out into another guy, so we're going to go for Yord and Bran. And at this point the game is over, but I'm going to activate the Shipyard just to get the biggest board that we possibly can. Big. Alright, once again, going first. Once again, kind of with nothing. This hand, honestly, is literally, again, normal summon pass. Hooray, Maxi carries us. And, well, let's see what we can do here. So my opponent goes for the Toy Box here, which I've never seen anyone do this, so that's interesting. My opponent goes for the Magician Souls, and I'm like, Mowerk! That's a dark! So I immediately go for the Mowerk here. They go for Ash, because literally every single one of these effects can be Ash. I don't know why that you can do that, but you can. So there's that. So now they don't have Ash for this Maxi. Hip hip hooray. I'm going to fire the Maxi. We also have Redbeard here, which is great. They're going to draw two. This is also why I decided to do the Maxi first. If they end up drawing into like a called by or a cross out or something like that, the Maxi is still going to resolve. So there's that. We go for the Liss here because that's a light. So we're going to draw a bunch of cards here. And they're going to go for the Quem here. They're going to then go for the Illusion of Chaos to grab up the Magician's Rod because apparently we're playing Dark Magician, but the Death Nail is already here. We go for the Liss, pitching another guy. We pitch the Shipyard here and just destroy the Quem because them having a tuner is way more dangerous. We're going to grab up Magician's Salvation and then go into Dark and then into Verte. I don't know why they decided to go into Dark. I think they thought that I had a Dark engrave. I don't play Darks except for Mowerk, who can't be summoned because he isn't properly summoned 99% of the time. So there's that. If they had a water, now we're talking. They make my guy a dark, which is funny. At this point, I'm pretty certain they're going to go like Super Polymerization. and they exactly do that. So I'm like, okay, I'll just special summon here. So yeah, out comes Garuda. And we drew a bunch of cards, smile. However, only one of them is going to matter. And that's a Harvey's Feather Lesson. Yay! Maxi's fun. Alright, here we are, once again going first. And I promise, not all of these are going to be determined by Maxi. Trust. Okay, so my opponent goes for the Ghost Ogre here, which is pretty good, but luckily we did pitch the Golden Hair, which does the full combo by itself. But I'm actually going to normal summon the Redbeard here and go Bluebeard, and we're going to go Bluebeard here, and then chain Redbeard, equipping the Blackbeard. And the reason for this is because we get a free draw, and then we also get to bounce here with the Shipyard. So Shipyard is just going to bounce the Redbeard back to hand after using its effect, and then replace itself. So there's that. Now we can go for the Blackbeard, and hey, they gave us a light with the Ghost Ogre, so now we can go list, which is great. Now we can do the Golden Hair combo here, because we did end up drawing into Whitebeard, which is great. So we can go for the Yord here, we're going to add back the Blackbeard, we're going to then call Fire. This is, I don't know why I go for the Fire here. This is kind of weird. I'm like, oh, I already have list, I probably shouldn't give them another light, we already have a light in Grave. I guess I'll go Fire, just in case. But I don't really understand why I decided to do this. If this is Tenpai, obviously they're already going to have a fire. But if they have fire and they start with the field spell, this is a little bit better, because then at the very least I can tag out into Bran and contest the field spell. So I don't know. It makes sense, because there's a lot of spells and traps that I specifically want to interact with. But Mowork may have been better. I think Mowork may have been better. Anyway, we go for another Blackbeard here. And just pass the turn. Let's see what we can do here. My opponent normal summons the Lady Debug. I'm going to immediately go for the negation on this, because I don't want them to be able to search out the Gazelle. They're then going to go for the Circle. I'm going to go for the Ash here. And they have Crossout. Look, their hand had to be something. So they're going to grab Jaguar, which is interesting. And we're going to add to our hand the Black Eyes. Here we're going to special summon out the Redbeard, and then we are going to allow them to pitch Jaguar for Signet Mining to grab Circle. Or to grab Gazelle. Here we're going to draw a card with the... Yep, there it is. With Blackbeard. Now, I know I said not every game here was determined by Maxi. I want you to genuinely look at what happens with this Maxi. All of these draws do not matter. I'm not playing a card that can interact from this point. Imperm doesn't do anything. We've already used Ash, and we've already used Maxi. All of the other cards are cards that I'm either going to search, or that will not have an impact on the way that this turn plays out. Genuinely. So, just keep that in mind. It's just funny. Obviously, Maxi could determine the way that they play this out, but all of my draws don't matter. So, very funny. Also, because of the fact that we already have the Shipyard, if they don't deal with Shipyard, it doesn't matter. I can do full combo, and I can kill them on the follow-up off of just that. So, even that isn't necessarily enough. So they go for the Cyber Swig Kid, and I go, Dark! And I just immediately banish the Cyber Swig Kid. I don't know what they're searching. I'm not going to deal with that. So we pitched the monster that I searched, and then search out Shipyard. Keep that in mind. Here they go for the Hita. Now they go for the Hita, which is kind of interesting. And they go for the Promethean Princess. They're going to activate the Promethean Princess, and they're going to special summon a guy. Here they're going to go for the Raging Phoenix. They're going to activate the field spell. Here we pitch our field spell to banish their field spell, so that they don't get a search off of said field spell. And we grab up the Bluebeard. Here they're going to go for Zelantis. They're going to activate the effect of Zelantis. I'm going to special summon that guy. Now, only 2 monsters are going to come back. And I know what you're thinking. Why did only 2 monsters come back? All 3 of these monsters are not properly summoned. This was not fusion summoned. This was not synchro summoned. This was not Xyz summoned. So they cannot be properly brought back. So I only have the 2 monsters. Luckily, my opponent's bad and only has Zelantis. So they can't do the Promethean Princess OTK, so we're still fine. But this is again where I'm like, none of my draws would have done anything off of this Maxi. This could have been any other draw, we would have been fine. However, of course, it is Maxi, so the game is now over, but you get the point. We special summon the Radion because it's funny, and then just proceed to do the combo, and my opponent just concedes. It's a good game. All right, we're back with the deck, and honestly, at the beginning of this deck profile, I started by saying stealing wins from the opponent, and that is exactly what we did. Thanks to the Roach. You hate to see it. But, with that being said, I still thoroughly enjoy Plunder. It is a extremely fun deck to play, and it is still an extremely fun experience, just overall, right? It really is a very unique deck in the way that it works, and I think that makes it very enjoyable to play and to consistently play because of the fact that you have so many different options, and each game is determined by your opponent. Are you going to have access to Mowerk? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, not a chance, right? Are you going to have access to Yord? Oftentimes, yeah, because you can synchro summon it and stuff like that, but not always. Sometimes you have access to lists, sometimes you don't, right? And that really makes the variance in the games very enjoyable, and it makes it a lot more diverse in what actually happens within each game, right? You're not always doing the same combo. You're not always ending on the same board and interacting with the opponent in the same ways and preventing them from doing specific things. You're oftentimes waiting for them to do a thing and then hoping that you can interact favorably with that by summoning a Bran to deal with a field spell, or summoning Mowerk to deal with a Link monster, or something along those lines, right? And it makes it a very, very enjoyable experience. So overall, I would highly recommend Plunder. I don't think it's exceptional. Obviously, you can also play it with like Runic and stuff like that, but I think for the most part, it is just a fun deck to play. And mind you, all of these games were also played in Diamond, so not like the highest of ranks, but I did climb, so there's that. But all in all, it's a fun game, and Yord giving us access to actually like play the game off of a maxi is very, very funny. So there's that. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.